So in this book, Seth Godin tells us that marketing is the slow act of earning trust through consistency, through generosity, and through empathy. Consistency, generosity, empathy. This is the opposite of what they teach you online, and I'm going to tell you this instantly. Do you know when you're learning from people online, or you see those viral ads or those viral bits of content, and everyone talks about the hook and about ads and reaching into new people, and they talk about the sizzle, not the steak. The whole idea there is make a promise, but don't deliver on that promise up front. Make them give you something in exchange in order to deliver on that promise. So a classic example is you run an ad and you say, I've got this result, but once upon a time I was just like you, struggling. If you want to know the secret to how you can do this too, with no experience, with no customers, with no anything, click the link, sign up, and I will show you. And then you download the PDF, you attend the webinar, and all it is their story. These things are scripted, these things are planned, these things are shared in template after template, and people are copying them. You will not grow a sustainable business doing that, and you will not build an audience who freaking love you doing that. The only way to build an audience in 2025, 2026, an audience who love you, who want to learn from you, who actually give you their permission to teach them, it's to lead with value. It's to share the answer up front. It's to go on a journey to try and change their lives, regardless of whether or not they pay you. And as Seth Godin tells us in the book, you might not get paid by the first people who find your content, but the market will notice. So there are people in my world who I've been teaching through free content for years and years, and I know them and they follow me and they leave me comments and they send me emails, but they've never really bought. They've never come into coaching. They've never bought the programs. Those people are supporters. They're fans. They're so important in the whole ecosystem. The people who actually buy from me quite often, and you're going to love this, they're people who Google, who find me, who word of mouth, they see me through an ad, they come into my world, and the word they use is binge. Lisa, I came into your world, I've binged all of your YouTube videos, I've listened to your podcast, I'm going through them for the second time, I watched this video and I'm listening to it again and again and again when I'm driving. I had someone who'd listened to one video 4 times because the concept was so new to them and they knew it was important for making a change in their business. How do you get people to do that? How do you get people to hear about you for the first time, come into your world, consume everything you've got, and then reach out to you and say, Lisa, how do I go about buying? The emails I get, and I get 2 of these every single week at least. Hi Lisa, found you on ChatGPT. Hi Lisa, found you on YouTube. Hi Lisa, found you on Google. Or Lisa, I came to your event, or I saw an ad. I'm in your world. That's the first part of the email. The second part of the email is always, I've binged this, I've read this, I've consumed this, I love this concept, love this idea. Long emails. And then the third part of the email is always, I'm stuck between which of these things should I buy? Should I do one-to-one coaching with you, or should I join Straight Line Through? And some of you watching who are already in my world might recognize that dilemma. That's always the question at the end. The question isn't, Lisa, are you any good? Lisa, do you have testimonials to prove what you've done? Lisa, I've never heard of you before and I don't know what you offer. Can we get on a call to understand your methodology? They are never the emails, because all of my marketing does all of that work long before I get on a call, and my conversion rate for sales calls is like 9 out of 10. If I have 10 sales calls, 9 of those are becoming customers. I can't remember the last time I had a sales call with somebody and they didn't become a customer. There was one, and I said to them, you're not ready. And I gave them access to a video course. I said, go watch that first and then come back to me once you've done that work, and then I know you're ready. The reason this is happening over and over and over again is because I'm following the principles in this book, which again, I'm just going to say, I knew intrinsically that they were right. And if you're a good-hearted person, you know intrinsically that they're right, but the market is trying to steer you away from them. And I'll tell you why. Nobody wants to do the work in order to build a community. What they want is the money and the accolades and the success that comes on the other side of community. But I would tell you this, you will waste years of your life trying to cheat the process. Give in to the process I'm about to share with you. It might take you 6 months, a year, 18 months to get this up and running properly. That is the truth of business, of building loyalty, of building longevity in the market, but you will live off it for the rest of your life. I promise you that. So let's start by sharing with you the biggest principle I took from this book, and I'm going to share with you 2 questions that were asked in this book that I'll never forget to this day. So the first principle that I really took from this book was this idea that marketing isn't about tricking people, it's not about conning people, it's not about getting them to do a thing. Marketing is about building trust over time. Marketing is about getting somebody to change their life, whether or not they come on to work with you. Marketing is service, marketing is service, marketing is service. Marketing is not a trick, it is not a gimmick, it is not a skill that you have to learn in the sense that I must learn how to market so that I can sell my products. It's not that. Marketing is the service. If you get this, you get business. Marketing is the service. Stop thinking about it as being separate from the sale or separate from your success, or if I could get the perfect funnel, if I could get the perfect webinar, if I could get the perfect ad set, everything over this side will work. No, marketing is the act of service. It's the very beginning. It's the introduction to how you start to serve people. And if they give you their attention for a 30-second ad, a 1-minute video, a 10-minute podcast, and in that podcast, in that content, in whatever that interaction is, they get no value from you, then that's it. You did not serve them and off they go. If, however, you open their mind, you change their perspective, you give them hope, you share something with them that they then talk to their partner about that night, that they're thinking about when they go to bed that night, when they wake up in the morning and they're excited to try it, then you have served that person. Do you think they're then going to go, this person was really useful, really changed my perspective, helped me, I felt great when I was around them. That's all I'll be consuming from them. I won't be downloading any YouTube videos. No, I'm not going to subscribe. And I definitely won't join the next webinar they do, teaching me how to do it step by step. No, that one video was enough. I shall go back to the people with the hooks and gimmicks and promises. That's where I will get my answer. Or do you think they're going to go, who is this person? Where have they been my whole life? Click, subscribe, like, follow, email. It's obviously the latter, okay? I was on a sales call with somebody just last week and she found me through ChatGPT, and you'll love this if you follow me for a while, you've seen this journey. She searched best female business coach, transformational coach in the UK, and blessed, I came up as part of the answer. The video that came up was the video we made about ChatGPT and how to rank on ChatGPT. So I'm going to link that video below because it's such a good watch. So she sent an email to me and the email said, found you on ChatGPT, I've binged all of your videos, I don't know whether to do straight line through or one-to-one. Exactly the email that I've just described. I get this email all the time. When I got on a call with her, she said to me, Lisa, for the last 2 years, I've been researching and studying. I've been on every webinar. I've been in every person's free program. I've consumed all the content. I'm so glad I found you. Which option do you think's best? And at the end of the call, she went for the one-to-one coaching and I gave her access to straight line through as part of it because generosity all the way helps me, helps her, helps the whole process. I said to her, can I ask you a question? She said, yeah, sure. I said, you have consumed content and courses and freebies and webinars from like 20 people before you got to me, but they're teaching you stuff similar to what I'm teaching. It's all the same stuff. Build a business online, make a living doing what you love. Why did you choose me over them? Like, why all of a sudden are you ready to invest thousands and you wouldn't invest it with them? And she said, it's so simple. It's because all of those people, it was all gimmicks, it was all hooks, it was all their story. They didn't actually teach me anything. You're the first person who actually told me the answer. And I already knew that was the answer and I love hearing it. But what I said to her was, remember that. Because what you're going to want to do is do a hook, have the perfect ad, have the perfect funnel. That isn't what marketing and business is. Listen, this is so important. Marketing and business is about being of service to a group of people. It's about getting their attention and actually delivering value so that they look to you. One of the questions I ask clients all the time, if they're struggling to sell, they're not getting conversions, nothing's happening, I'll say to them, how many people are actually looking at you? How many people are leaning into you? How many people's attention would you say you have? Not because of a gimmick or a hook or that one reel that randomly went viral that had nothing to do with the rest of your marketing. How many people can't wait to receive your email? How many people would Google you and search you out on YouTube? How many people consume what you share and actually look to you as a thought leader, as a trainer, as a mentor? That is the most important question you could be asking yourself today. Now, in the book, Seth Godin frames it like this. He says, how many people do you have permission to teach? Do you even have permission to teach? And this is the idea that you might have a tick in the box on a GDPR form. You might have, oh, Lisa, I've got 2,000 email addresses. I've got 2,000 people on LinkedIn. So it doesn't mean anything if those people aren't excited to hear from you. And this is another thing from Seth Godin's book. They wouldn't miss you if you were gone. If I shut up shop and I stopped sharing these YouTube videos and I stopped sharing these podcasts and I stopped running the Dare to Grow live events, would everyone be like, they weren't that good, we could do without, there's loads of people doing what Lisa does? Or might I get a handful of emails going, Lisa, I miss you. I miss your energy. I miss your motivation. I miss the events. What's coming up? What's coming up? What's coming up? In fact, I'm going to tell you a message I got on Instagram just 2 days ago. Let me read it to you exactly. We'll put the screenshot in as evidence. Here's the message. I'm missing your motivation, Lisa. What offerings do you have coming up? What offerings do you have coming up? Imagine getting a message like that. They're the kind of emails that I get, but here's the downside to this that you're not going to like. And it doesn't matter because I know this is right. The downside of this is I didn't start making videos yesterday and I didn't set up the perfect ad funnel 3 weeks ago, and now all of a sudden I've got this amazing business. That isn't what happened. I've been making this content for years and years, and I think this is one of the next biggest principles that I share with clients all the time, and I don't think this has come from Seth Godin's book. It's just something that I've learned. Another thing I do when people aren't selling is ask them how much testing they're doing. And I don't mean testing naff ads. Oh, I've changed the picture, I've changed the hook. I don't mean that. I mean, when was the last time you ran a webinar to see if people would come on that topic? When was the last time you got a group of people together and tried to teach something? Do you know one of the biggest things you can do if you're not selling and you're not making sales? You know all that good stuff you've got locked behind a paywall? You've got that 3-part video course, the opt-in, the freebie. You've got this webinar and people have to give you their email to opt in to get it. What if you took all of that away? What if you took all of the barriers away, all of the blocks away, all of the resistance away, and just used your best training content as your marketing? Now hear me out, because this sounds crazy. Lisa, how will I make money? Honestly, get a job while you figure this out. To sell the skills that you've got. If you can build websites, do that whilst you figure this out. Do anything. But if you can't build an audience of people who are looking to you, listening to you, hanging off your every word, you'll never be able to sell. Selling does not happen because somebody found you, believed your fake-ass promise in an ad, sorry, no offense, believed the hook, believed the sizzle, and was like, mint, I'll give this stranger thousands. That isn't how selling happens. That is not how selling happens. Selling is a relationship that is built over time, and it's stages of delivery. So if you find me on YouTube randomly, hello, if you're new, don't forget to hit subscribe, share a new video every Monday. If you find me on YouTube and you're like, I like her, she's different, she's new, she's telling me the truth, I like her accent, I like her fireplace, whatever, wouldn't be that, and you hit subscribe, that's my first bit of, I made you a promise that this video was good and then I delivered on it. If you then saw another video and the same thing happened, you still haven't bought anything, but you come to a webinar, you come to a Dare to Grow live event for like 35, 40 quid, and I blow your socks off, are you then going to think, I don't know whether to buy coaching from her because I don't know if she's real. I don't know whether to buy this course of her because I don't know if she knows what she's talking about. Or is it the easiest freaking purchase you then go on to make? This is what I'm talking about. If in the first instance you can use your best content to build that attention, build that community, build that audience, find out what they need, find out what they want, find out what they're struggling with, and then launch the webinar, launch the masterclass, run the live event, do the mini-series, you will never have to worry about pipeline ever again because you've created a process that builds it. But the reason I mention testing is you are not going to make this up in a vacuum. You're not going to sit there with ChatGPT, which I love. You're not going to sit there and say, help me build an avatar. What content does this customer need? That isn't how you get good at service. You get good at service by serving people and getting it wrong. The best customer you can have is a customer who's causing you problems, as in they're struggling, because you don't then go, oh, let me see if I can just get through this contract, get rid of them. No, you go, this client is struggling, they've brought me a problem. If I can solve this problem with them, for them, beside them, then I will be better. I will be better, and that will be the topic of my next course, my next chapter, my next membership program, whatever. Can you see that? Marketing is not a trick. It is not a gimmick and is not a means to an end. Marketing is the full act of learning who your customer is, of proving who you are up front with no risk to them. It's the act of being of service for as long as it takes for them to trust you enough in order to buy from you, which is ultimately what the business part of this model is. The worst thing that you can do is try and skip this process because you want to cheat yourself to the fast result, which is sales, growth. I want to quit my job by this date. Loads of people say that, and it's great to have that ambition. But in the years of cheating, of building a funnel, of trying to land the perfect hook, of really figuring out, what the promise is and what the sales page is, if you just let all of that go and didn't just add value to the market, but really focused on learning how to add value to a small group of people who get bigger and bigger and bigger, you'll never have to worry about sales again. You'll never have to worry about marketing, because it is in the act of learning to be of service that you actually become someone of substance, someone worth following, somebody who people will give money to in order to accelerate their process because you're proven upfront. That is the biggest thing I learned from that book. That is the biggest thing I teach my clients. And I think that is the biggest thing intrinsically as a good-hearted person. Stop trying to cheat the process. Start making better content. Be of service. The sales will follow. Now, in the next video, I'm going to run through what it looks like to translate this into your content, into a webinar, into a PDF, into your sales page, into your discovery calls. So the next video, part 2, is actually going to be a much more practical application of what this looks like. And this video is going to change your life. I'll see you in part 2.